18:52 Uhr. Hier sind sie, die Ausstellungen beider Mannschaften für heute Abend. Unser Gast aus Freiburg hat folgende Ersatzbank heute Abend aufzubieten. Mit der Nummer 33 Rebecca Adamczyk. Mit der Nummer 7 nimmt beim SC Freiburg auf der Bank Platz Tessa Blumenberg. Die 8 trägt Alena Wiens. Die Nummer 9 Svenja Völmli. Die 10 Selina Fobian. Die 15 Mai Schneider. Mit der 18 Mia-Lene Maas. Die 20 Lila Egli und die 31 Nora Scherer. Die Startelf, die heute Edmond Kablani, der Ex-KSC-Profi, hier heute ins Rennen schickt, lautet wie folgt. Im Tor mit der Nummer 1 Laura Benkert. Mit der Nummer 2 die Spielführerin Lisa Karl. Mit der Nummer 4, danke für eure Unterstützung, liebe Freiburger Fans. Mit der Nummer 4 Meret Felde. Dann mit der Nummer 6 die erste Änderung gegenüber der Startelf gegen Leipzig, Nicole Ojukwu. Mit der Nummer 16 Greta Stegemann. Die Nummer 17 trägt Aurélie Gillac. Mit der Nummer 19 Nia Schenk. Mit der 22 Lisa Kolb. Die Nummer 23 zuletzt Torschützin Luca Birkholz. Mit der 24 Ingbi Björk Sigurdardottir. Und die Nummer 27 trägt Sophie Nachtigall. Danke euch, liebe Freiburgerinnen und Freiburger. Wir kommen zur Startaufstellung unserer TSG Hoffenheim. Zunächst die Ersatzbank unserer TSG heute. Mit der Nummer 27 Juliane Schmid. Mit der Nummer 9 Jill Jansens. Die 28 trägt Milena Röder. Mit der 30 Nadine Witzer. Die 34 Svenja Föhringer. Die 35 Leni Willeschek. Die 37 Sarah Sahiti und die 39 Christina Alp. Unser Cheftrainer heißt Theodoros Dedes und teils gezwungen, teils verletzungsbedingt muss er heute folgende Startelf aufbieten. Im Tor mit der Nummer 1 unsere Laura Dick. Die Nummer 5 trägt die Australierin Jamila Rankin. Mit der Nummer 6 unsere Spielführerin Vanessa Ihm.
It's derby time in the state of Baden-Württemberg. At stake, more than just 3 points as Hoffenheim and Freiburg lock horns on Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga Matchday 9. Two teams who made flying starts to the 25-26 campaign. Two teams whose recent form has hit a few bumps in the road. The form books, though, count for little in derbies like this. Both Hoffenheim and Freiburg have identical records so far this season. 13 points from a possible 24. At the start of play, both are 6 points adrift of Bayer Leverkusen in third place. Tonight, the chance to cut the gap to 3. All the ingredients for a spicy showdown of local rivals, but who can seize the opportunity to keep themselves firmly in the mix in the race for Europe. James Thorogood, your match commentator, and happy to have you along as we close out the Matchday 9 midweek madness with what could be a feisty fixture here at the Dietmar Hopp Stadion. Theodoros Dedis, all smiles. It was here at this ground last season that Freiburg secured a 3-2 win, a result which still irks the Hoffenheim head coach. And while his side exacted their revenge with a 3-0 reverse at the Dreisam Stadion, tonight the aim is to deliver derby spoils in front of home support. Beyond local bragging rights in Germany's top flight, it is the top 3 who all qualify for Europe. For the last 4 seasons, that trio has been made up of Bayern, Wolfsburg and Frankfurt. But while the top 2 are pulling clear at the summit, third place feels more up for grabs compared to recent seasons. Leverkusen, Frankfurt, Bremen, Hoffenheim and Freiburg are all in the mix. Tonight, a head-to-head. Win and stay within touching distance of the top 3. Lose and risk getting cut adrift. There is more than just bragging rights on offer. 3 precious points in Germany's top flight. European ambitions It's all in the mix. All the ingredients for what could be a fantastic derby. A look at the team news with Hoffenheim head coach Theodoros Dedis still battling a lengthy list of absentees, not helped by Lisan Kaut's suspension. There are 3 changes following the narrow 2-1 loss to Wolfsburg, as Napsuger Sinker, Marie Steiner and Jana Grimm all feature from the off. To put the injury issues into perspective, Jill Janssens is the only first-team regular who features on the bench. Angelika Söder, the woman with the whistle, hoping to keep the lid on what could be a heated derby. As for the visitors, head coach Edmond Kaplani, not happy with their most recent back-to-back losses, opting for a trio of changes, all which come in midfield. Mads Schneider, Selina Vorbian and Elena Bientz all drop to the bench, while Nicole Ojukwu, Lisa Kolb and Sophia Nachtigall provide fresher legs for the starting lineup. Svenja Fumli scored upon returning from her latest spell on the sidelines, but still isn't ready for a starting berth. Kaplani said he was delighted following some difficult weeks for the Swiss striker, but no one wants to take any unnecessary risks given her injury history. And these women will be confident of getting the job done without their star striker. Plenty of smiles on display before the derby. The question is, who will be smiling come the end of the 90 minutes? 2 hours and 200 kilometers, there or thereabouts, separating these two sides as the crow flies. Freiburg a little further south down on the French border in the Black Forest. Hoffenheim, or Sinsheim more specifically, a little further north in one of Germany's more charming states, Baden-Württemberg. And now the stage is set on this Thursday night under the floodlights. The first Baden derby of the 25-26 season. And already an early chance for Hoffenheim straight from kick-off. Oh, it's in! Well, surely that has to be the fastest goal of the season so far. Freiburg had the ball from the off, but they give it away cheaply. And Hoffenheim pounce to break the derby deadlock in what must have been under 10 seconds. We can see it from start to finish here. Tapped off, but the long ball doesn't work out. And the quick thinking and a little bit of luck as the ball comes back off the bar, off the back of Laura Benkart. But it is Hoffenheim who lead. Valeska Amporta. She scored against Wolfsburg. Now she doubles up in back-to-back matches. What a dream start for Hoffenheim here. At stake, more than just 3 points, as Hoffenheim and Freiburg meet at the Dietmar Hopp Stadion. Closing the curtain on Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga Matchday 9, a set of midweek fixtures that really have delivered thrills and spills, and what a thrill to start proceedings here. James Thorogood, your match commentator, and if this is the start of things to come tonight, then we are in for a wild ride in the Baden derby. Well, fast goals have certainly been a trend in Germany's top flight this season. And Amporta's ambitious effort from range, right up there with the fastest of them. now the question is, Freiburg, after back-to-back losses, how do they respond? Hoffenheim looking to turn the screw. On a side short on confidence. Edmond Kapelani, the Freiburg head coach, lamented the fact that in recent matches, in those back-to-back losses, that his side conceded a touch too easily. Talked about his side lacking determination in all positions. An early setback won't help confidence levels. But I don't think that opening goal had anything to do with determination. Perhaps from Hoffenheim's side, because the determination to provide the high press, something that Theodoros Dedes has been delighted with from his side this season. But that high press, forcing the mistake, forcing the issue, and then it all comes down to Valeska Amporta, the Belgian international, summer signing for Hoffenheim, having the presence of mind and a little bit of the audacity to take the shot early and add to the goal she scored against Hamburg and Wolfsburg. Third goal in 10 games for Hoffenheim. Though in fairness, it really should go down as a Laura Benkart's own goal, given the fact that it came back off the bar and then ricocheted off the back of the goalkeeper. Steiner loses out and then wins the ball back, but the throw-in hasn't gone Hoffenheim's way. There is Edmond Kapelani, the Freiburg head coach. Talked about the fact that the Englische Woche, these midweek fixtures, known as English weeks here in Germany, and said that ultimately it gives his side a chance to quickly make amends for that loss to Leipzig, adding to the defeat to Nuremberg. 2 losses against bottom half of the table teams, and having produced top 3 form to start the season, it's a worrying regression from Freiburg. I'm hearing that the goal for Hoffenheim tonight has been clocked at 8 seconds, which, if I'm not mistaken, would make it the Frauen Bundesliga record for fastest goal ever scored. I believe the record stands at 9.9 seconds. It was a goal scored by Lucy von Kova. That's in a game between USV Jena and SGS Essen. And truth be told, it might also go down as the fastest goal in German football history, because in the men's Bundesliga, there are 2 players that both hold the record jointly. That being Kevin Volland who scored for Hoffenheim, and Karim Bellarabi, who scored for Leverkusen. So history might have been made tonight in more ways than one in Hoffenheim. A brilliant start for those in blue and a nightmarish one for those that have made the short trip north up the state lines of Baden-Württemberg. Now the chance to break in behind Luca Birkolz. She's got Silag in the middle. She waited to play the cross and then went for goal herself. Touch selfish there from Luca Birkolz, though it was tough to tell whether the pass to Silag was on. Angles were always going to be tight. And Gloning was there to cover at the back post, and as a result they settle for the corner, Freiburg. But now after the early goal conceded, signs of life going forward. Ajuku's corner is good in picking out a teammate. The shot from Birkolz blocked. Summer signing from Karzais Jena. More defending to do as Ajuku goes long. Silag! Takes a stab at the volley, unsuccessfully. Well worked down the right wing again for the home side. Hoffenheim coping with some real injury issues right now. Look at the players missing from their squad. You've got the suspended Lisanne Kaut, who picked up that double booking against Wolfsburg in that 2-1 loss last time out. But Linda Natter, Lisa Dorn, Dominika Grabowska, Chiara Hahn, and then the front two, Selina Cerci, Melissa Kussler, both on the treatment table right now. One of the reasons that Theodoros Dedis was so proud of his side's performance in the loss to Wolfsburg, despite the result, because he felt that given their absentees, they gave a great account of themselves. And then, when you take in the experience discrepancy that he pointed out, rightly so as well, Hoffenheim with an average age of 22 in their matchday squad, and you have the likes of Alexandra Popp and Svenja Huth, who both have more Frauen Bundesliga experience than the entire Hoffenheim squad last time out. Really puts into perspective the fact that 2-1 as a defeat is not anything to be ashamed of, especially not against the joint record title holders in the Frauen Bundesliga era. He did admit that the way they lost was bitter, given the fact that it was a 91st minute winner from Smilla Valotto. Heartbreaking and cruel. Now Lisa Karl weaving her way towards goal. Shot blocked. Still chipping away though, Lisa Karl, the captain. Silag, Birkolz in the middle. Silag, this time the selfish striker. Same result as Birkolz. Both summer signings. Birkolz brought in from Jena. Aurélie Silag signed from Basel, just down the road from Freiburg, across the Swiss border. Both already with 3 goals on their Freiburg accounts. excuse me, Silag with 2 in the Frauen Bundesliga, both scored in a win against Hamburg. It is Birkholz who tops the charts with 3 goals, and perhaps answering some of the questions asked of her, whether she could make the step up from Carl Zeiss Jena and be a reliable source of goals for Freiburg. So far, the early indications are good. Nia Cenk, nice little win of the ball. Freiburg settling into a rhythm. They're starting to establish a grip on the game. Hoffenheim haven't had an effort on goal since their opener, that right now has still been credited to Valeska and Porter. Neat play by Hoffenheim in midfield. Jana Grimm moving the play along nicely, the young 20-year-old. Already, Silag has taken a knock here. Don't think it's the drumming that's affecting the ears. Just not the cleanest way to control the ball there with the chin. Better body parts available. One to just rattle the jaw. But right now, Edmond Kaplani's side, they are the rattled ones. A goal down as we cross the quarter-hour mark in the first Baden derby of the season. A blistering start, 8 seconds on the clock when the opening goal was scored. Since then, Freiburg trying to seize the initiative to get themselves back in this game. Hoffenheim aren't exactly forcing the issue. But there's plenty of twists and turns remaining tonight, I'm sure, as we close out the midweek fixtures. Tonight, again, all part of an 11-day run. 11 days straight of Frauen Bundesliga action, a feast of football. The second Englische Woche of the season. Now Hoffenheim with the goal to their name, looking to fashion another chance. Unfortunately, the real estate ran out there for our goal scorer, Valeska and Porter. Signed from Ud Hervele Leuven in Belgium. 6 goals in 95 appearances for her former team, and she's already got 3 in 10 for Hoffenheim. She talked about being able to relate to the philosophy as well as the style of play. Adds the Belgian connection at the club that already includes Jill Janssens and Feli Delicau. Pressure applied. Solution found as the ball goes back to Laura Dick. Talking of the Hoffenheim philosophy, it's not surprising to see young players step up. Yes, the injury issues are quite glaring right now, it has to be said. But Hoffenheim are a team that don't shy away from dipping into the talent pool and giving young teenagers the chance to shine. Plenty of youngsters on the bench tonight for Hoffenheim, given the injury issues, who could all make their Frauen Bundesliga and Hoffenheim debuts. Feli Delicau. Nice ball out wide. Again, Lisa Carla's got astray and the shot comes in, and Benkart with a sharp save there. Well, that's Hoffenheim's first effort on goal since breaking the deadlock after 8 seconds. Napsuger Sinka, the young Hungarian, testing Benkart. Plenty of bodies at the back post. Deep delivery needed, and deep it does go. Franziska Harsch underneath it, challenged by Zilag. Back out to Sinka, who needed a first touch and couldn't produce it. Good battle there for the ball. Sinlag penalised. The home fans trying to drum up the atmosphere on what is a bit of an eerie, foggy night that, truth be told, would have been more befitting for Halloween weekend last week. Bit of an eerie start to the game here as well, with the potentially fastest goal in Frauen Bundesliga history. I'll wait for the statisticians to confirm that. For now, free kick for Hoffenheim. Difficult defending to do under pressure, but it was well done in the end. Safe. Looking for the safe passes. Calls for a Dreierkette, a 3-woman back line. I think that's the shape that Hoffenheim are trying to take when they're in possession. You can see here Jamila Rankin slots in as the left centre-back. Vanessa Diem and Vila Duma, the other two defenders in that case. Off the ball, it's more of a full 4-woman back line with Laura Glorning dropping in at right back. But this is the Hoffenheim style of play. They can be dynamic, they can be varied in their approach. Lara Dick's long ball. Doesn't find a teammate. We see the free kick opportunity again, and it was a header that had to be produced in rather testing circumstances. Napsuger Sinka clearly has a very good set-piece delivery on her, the 19-year-old. Signed from the Puskás Academy. With a name like that attached to it, got to think she's got a pretty good footballing education that will be continued here with Hoffenheim, who get the reprieve of the referee's whistle there. Duma felt the touch from Bierkoltz. Happily accepted the invite to go to ground. For Laura Dick, just 9 goals conceded this season. Hoffenheim with the second best defensive record in the Frauen Bundesliga, behind only the league leaders Bayern München, who've only conceded 3 times in the current campaign. Hoffenheim 9 times. A big step up in that particular department, and it was their head coach, Theodoros Dedes, who credited it to the fact that the high press has been working really well. The fact that his side are both winning the ball earlier and higher up the pitch. But said it ultimately comes down to the fact that his team are showing heart and passion in defensive moments. And says that ultimately in the top half of the table, he reckons it's going to be very tight this season. That's certainly the case. Leverkusen with their win yesterday, albeit a late one, against Hamburg. Moving on to 19 points. So right now at the start of play, these two sides were both 6 points adrift. The chance to cut the gap to 3, and Hoffenheim right now are seizing upon that opportunity. But Freiburg are building their way back into the game. A little bit shocked by the early goal conceded, but they are now asserting control as Deem. Difficult foot race with Seelag, and Dick had to get there too, but Seelag almost got a block that could have gone anywhere, but Hoffenheim now can break. Space opens up at the Dietmar Hopp Stadion. The pass needed to go down the line, though, instead. The momentum just taken out of the move. Steiner does well to rescue that errant pass. And again, Marie Steiner wants a foul. Concern there after she took a ball to the head, and there was a lack of movement, but I don't think anything too concerning. Just one right off the tip of the nose, which will certainly bring a bit of tears to the eye. Now, Edmond Kaplani described Freiburg as a young and wild team. Really was a phenomenal start to the season. Just 1 loss in their first 6 games, along with 4 wins and a draw. And that loss coming against Bayern München, the 3-time defending champions. As a result, they sat in 3rd place at the end of Matchday 6 Freiburg, but these back-to-back losses have seen them drop to 6th. Right now, based on results elsewhere this weekend, they could finish the match day in 7th. A little bit of a downward trend that is certainly a slight cause for concern. Go back to last season, they never suffered 3 straight losses. Only once, 2 in a row. Their last losing streak that went longer than 2 games dates back to the 23-24 campaign between March and March and May of 2024. They suffered 5 straight losses on the back of 2 straight goalless draws. A terrible end to that particular campaign before Theresa Meck went on maternity leave. Chance for a shot, and well blocked. The problem for hosts Hoffenheim is that last season they were just completely boom or bust under Theodoros Dedes. 12 wins, 10 losses in 22 matches. First time that they'd ever gone an entire campaign without sharing the spoils at any point. Looking for more consistency, and now Seelag has the chance to level the scores. 1-on-1 with Laura Dick. It is the Hoffenheim goalkeeper that comes out on top. But her runs in behind have started to become a problem for the Hoffenheim backline. Lovely curled ball round the corner. And the chance there for Silag. Tried to thread it through the legs of Laura Dick. Corner floated in. Steiner first to the loose ball. And Porter chipping in on the defensive end as well. Let's go Hoffer, fight and win is the chant that you can hear being drummed out at the Dietmar Hopp Stadion. Kempfen and Siegen, fight and win. Well, they're fighting and right now they're winning. But there is still a long way to go in the first Baden derby of the season. And Freiburg, their riposte to the goal after 8 seconds was positive and promising, but it produced nothing on the score sheet. But they are enjoying more of the possession, the visitors, and winning more of the challenges. Hoffenheim willing to let them seize the initiative as they seek out their opportunities in transition. One of the shifts, perhaps, that they've made under Theodoros Dedis this season. They really did want to be a predominantly possession-based side. In the current campaign, they do have a few more options at their disposal. It's not just plan A, there's plan B and C available as well. Nice ball into midfield, taken down well by Sophia Nachtigall, and now Aurélie Silag again in behind. Silag! And Dick denies a second time. 2 big chances in quick succession for Freiburg's summer signing Aurélie Silag. Twice she fails to get the better of the Hoffenheim goalkeeper. The first save was more about the shot from Silag. That stop was quite impressive from Laura Dick. Kept herself big. Stuck out of hand, strong wrist as well. She does not want to concede goal number 10 for the season, especially not against her local rivals. Past the half-hour mark here at the Dietmar Hopp Stadion. Plenty of inquests going on from the Freiburg dugout. Edmond Kaplani, a mix of encouraging his players and also demanding more of them. They really should be level after those 2 spurned opportunities from Aurélie Silag. But it will give them confidence that they can get their way back into this derby. Jamila Rankin goes down clutching the ankle after a bit of a tweak in blocking that cross. And again, it's the type of moment that can just send a few ripples up the ligaments. The last thing Hoffenheim need now is more injuries on an already lengthy list. Their senior squad is already been cut down to its bare bones. Or I should say, it's been cut down to its teenage talents, perhaps. Selag with what looked like a big push there, and indeed penalised. It's drawn a bit too much attention from the referee. That's not a particularly pleasant sight. It didn't look like anything too sinister. Can only assume it was an awkward fall. Everyone trying to keep hands and heads warm without things getting too heated here. It looks like our goal scorer tonight is going to be okay. The hip hurting a touch. The 21-year-old talked about the fact that whenever she takes to the football pitch, she's ready and willing to give it all. And it was the push, and then she clashed with her teammate, Franziska Harsch. That was the part we missed in the mix. So after that flurry of two very promising opportunities in front of goal for Freiburg, the rhythm a touch disrupted, but now here come Freiburg again. Selag, hint of offside, and the flag did go up. Then again, same result in that particular one-on-one. I don't think she was going for goal on that occasion, Selag, but Laura Dick was taking no chances whatsoever, because Freiburg have come on a little bit stronger, winning 60% of the challenges. That will certainly be pleasing for Edmond Kaplani. And the response to falling behind will be as well, but now he needs them to reward themselves, preferably before half-time. Give him something a bit different to work with his team talk. Schenk comes out on top in the battle of number 19s. And again, Freiburg having to play their way out from a very deep position. Pass goes astray, and now Delicau twisting, turning the Belgian. Looking for Steiner. Oh, neat footwork from Steiner. Kind of working in very tight spaces. Jana Grimm keeping Hoffenheim on the front foot here as they look for a second goal before half-time. Diem finds Rankin in space. Good cross, and Delicau was there, but doesn't get a head to the ball. Grimm just muscled out on the edge of the area. Neat work by Delicau. Unfortunately, it came to nothing for the home side. Well, they'll be relatively happy, though. They're taking a one-goal lead at the break. On a night that the winner closes the gap on third place to just 3 points. Third place currently occupied by Bayer Leverkusen, with Eintracht Frankfurt continuing to falter. Lara Dick put under a little bit more pressure than maybe she wanted to be by that back pass. Hoffenheim will not want to give Freiburg the inch needed to potentially get a goal back and level the scores. Silag with a slip there. Hoffenheim retreat their lines, but now can break forward again, and I think the offside flag correctly raised there against Feli Delicau. Now she is loitering, ready and waiting to work off the shoulder of the last woman. And this is what the opening goal does afford Hoffenheim, the chance to just be poised and patient. Try and really pick their moments going forward instead of rushing through the gears. Part of a derby in determining who comes out on top is who can handle the emotions of the evening better. Truth be told, it's not the most heated affair so far. Trust me, neither side wants to lose as Luca Bierkoltz earns her side another corner. Second best defensive record in the Frauen Bundesliga for Hoffenheim, but they've only got 2 clean sheets in the current campaign. First was a 3-0 win against Eintracht Frankfurt. The second, a 1-0 win against Essen back in October. Ojuku's corner. Second chance. Opportunity. A swing and sent over by Lisa Kolb. Chances, though, for Freiburg outside of the 2 for Silag have been largely limited to half chances. A tumble at the vital moment, curtailing Hoffenheim's advances momentarily. Pocket of space for Steiner to work with. Draws the pressure, but then loses out. Kolb finding Nachtigall, who then loses out against Porter. Grimm feeding it out wide, where there's a little bit more room to maneuver. Grimm gets it back, but then sends it to the captain, Vanessa Diem. A new role given to her this season, but richly deserved, based on her performances and leadership qualities that she's demonstrated over the course of several seasons, and not just last season. And this season, given the captain's armband, and now in this more defensive role as part of a back three, as opposed to operating in her more natural role at holding midfield, where she really has taken to the new role remarkably well. Hoffenheim weaving their way into the box now with Napsuger Sinker. Always willing to dip into her bag of tricks. Cross then cut out and cleared by Freiburg. Bierkoltz does really well there with the first and second touch. Kolb looking for the early release, and it's not the most convincing bit of defending from Duma, but Hoffenheim back on the ball. Seconds remaining of normal time in this first half. Not sure we'll get many more minutes added on. There were a couple of stoppages for minor injuries. 3 minutes seems a touch generous. But they are trying to be a lot more accurate with the timekeeping this season, the referees in German football. As a result, we are seeing more time added on, and everyone getting accustomed to that. Lovely little 1-2. Harsh couldn't then pick out Sinker with her next pass. I'm sure that might be a message from Theodoros Dedis at halftime as well, wanting a little bit more from his side, because Freiburg do look a touch vulnerable when challenged. Now Lisa Carr trying to make a nice run in behind, but the pass didn't quite match the shape of the run. Calls for front foot defending. Good interception at the back there from Gloning. Now Porter back down by Ojukwu, finds Harsh. Does well just to evade the press there, Franziska Harsh, who is without question the most experienced player in the Hoffenheim ranks tonight. 180 appearances for the club. Jana Grimm gets to the loose ball first. Calls for a shot, goes for the cross. Sinker can't quite bring it under her spell. And another chance for Hoffenheim comes to nothing. Harsh, though, first to the loose ball. Finds her captain, Vanessa Diem. Ball inside. Rankin will get there. On the stretch. Pass wayward. calls for a foul from the sidelines. But Hoffenheim very tidy in possession. Well, history made in the first Baden derby of the season. The fastest goal of the season so far, and also the fastest goal in Frauen Bundesliga history, scored by Valeska and Porter. 8 seconds on the clock. And that is the goal that separates the sides at the break at the Diemar Hauptstadion. It is Hoffenheim 1, Freiburg 0.
DFB-Pokal-Achtelfinale Sonntag, 16. November. Also jetzt am Wochenende, Sonntag in einer Woche, 14 Uhr, hier im Dietmar Hauptstadion gegen Eintracht Frankfurt. Seien Sie live mit dabei, holen Sie Ihr Ticket bequem online im Vorfeld dieser Knallerpartie im DFB-Pokal. Eine Woche später dann das nächste Highlight, wenn der FC Bayern München hier im Dietmar Hauptstadion zu Gast ist. 15:30 Uhr Anpfiff am Sonntag, 23. November.
Ja, ist okay, danke.
Um 14 Uhr unbedingt live dabei sein, wenn hier die Frankfurter Eintracht zum DFB-Pokalspiel in den Kraichgau kommt. Eine Woche später, Sonntag, 23.11., 15:30 Uhr, unsere Heimpartie gegen den FC Bayern München. Wir dürfen gespannt sein, wen wir da wieder aufbieten können und wie wir dem FC Bayern Paroli bieten können. unser Applaus für beide Mannschaften für diese zweite Hälfte.
Hello and welcome back to the first Baden derby of the Frauen Bundesliga 25-26 season, and we had a blistering start. The fastest goal of the season so far, the fastest goal in Frauen Bundesliga history, scored by Hoffenheim, scored by Valeska and Porter. And that is the only goal of the game so far, though there were opportunities for more to be added to the scoreline. Right now, an inquest going on as to where Jill Janssens needs to be introduced as a half-time substitute. Changes at the ready. Janssens coming on for Hoffenheim. Making way, Napsuger Sinker, the young Hungarian, who had some bright moments. But obviously, Theodoros Dedis felt a little bit more experience needed on the right wing, so Janssens drafted in off the bench at half-time. A touch off for the second half kickoff. A routine off the training ground perhaps for Hoffenheim. Glorning's pass forward. And already we've had more time pass in this second half than we did in the first before the goal was scored. A battle of regional rivals here in Baden-Württemberg. And ultimately, Hoffenheim looking to take the local bragging rights tonight. It was here on home soil. They lost 3-2 last season. A result that still irks head coach Theodoros Dedis. Janssens' first involvement is positive. Touched off and Delicau! Shot deflected behind. Ingebjörg Ciudadottir putting her body in the way, and had to as well, because this looked like a goal-bound effort for Delicau, who didn't have a lot to work with in the first half. Hoffenheim looking to seize the initiative early in the second half again. And that's a dangerous delivery that required some rather desperate defending. But it's Franziska Harsch adjudged to have got the final touch. So busy focusing on battling her way through to the header that she forgot to focus on the header itself. Again, we keep seeing evidence of it, but it's something that Dedis talked about before this game, the pressing for Hoffenheim and how successful it's been so many times this season, and making life very difficult for Freiburg as Benkart does well to pluck that one out of the air. It is a chilly evening in Germany's southwest, but then again, temperatures have been plummeting up and down the country. Nevertheless, great to see that we have such a good turnout here at the Dietmar Hopp Stadion. Those in attendance are making themselves heard. There's a bit of debate going on as to how early Valeska and Porter's goal was scored. Depending on which broadcaster you trust here in Germany, it was either 10 or 11 seconds. Hoffenheim themselves said it was 12, which would make it the third fastest in Frauen Bundesliga history. But our particular clocks have it just under 9 seconds. Given that the record stands at 9.9, the The record tonight has been broken. I would say it's worth waiting for official confirmation from the league itself as to whether it does go down as the fastest ever. Offside flag stopping them in their tracks. Hoffenheim would love to add to their lead early in this second half. Again, Freiburg trying to battle their way back into this game. Got to go back to the two chances that this woman, Aurelie Silag, had. That really should have been the equalizer, but now Lisa Karl looks to cut back, the captain. Still determined in trying to fashion a chance here. Forced to play it back to Siardardottir. Now on to Stegemann. The shot from range, happily accepted by Hoffenheim as Ojukwu sends that one over. Twice Silag broke in behind one-on-one. Twice Laura Dick, the Hoffenheim goalkeeper, was there to deny her. There was a third opportunity as well, but that third would have been ruled out by offside anyway. This time the foul does go the way of Marie Steiner, the Germany Youth International, and Hoffenheim. Steiner really seizing her opportunity in what is a bit of a breakthrough campaign for her. A more regular feature in the starting lineup and someone who regularly shows off her quality, especially in tight spaces. Chance to get bodies in the box for the home side. Clipped in. Siardardottir there to meet it. It has been a season of early goals. I remember one for Maya Sternad for Werder Bremen after about 25 seconds. Of course, we had the goal scored by Sandra Maria Jessen in the Rhine derby between Leverkusen and Köln. That one was after 26, but that was a goal that now will never exist because that game was called off due to a floodlight failure later on in the game, and the game was replayed. And the game started from 0-0, not with Köln 1-0 up. Of course, we also had one of the fastest sendings off in Frauen Bundesliga history, Charlotte Voll, receiving her marching orders after just half a minute. A season of nuances, but tonight we've got the fastest goal in the league's history. But we wouldn't say no to another goal tonight, truth be told, because while it was rather exciting to break the deadlock that early, the chances haven't exactly been free-flowing since. The onus was on Freiburg to try and make something happen, but at 1-0 down, they don't want to run the risk too early of falling further behind. Oof. Oh, Marie Steiner took that one right to the head. Second time tonight that she's been floored by something like that. This time it's straight from a Laura Benkart clearance. Earlier she got a nip on the nose. But again, this is the high press from Hoffenheim, the determination being shown by the home side. A big feature of their play under Dedes in what is his second season at the helm. A nice ball round the corner, but not for the first time tonight. The offside flag denying Freiburg the chance to fashion anything in the final third. Searching pass, looking for the goal scorer and Porter. Keeps Hoffenheim with their lines advanced. Another move breaks down. Theodoros Dedes lamenting something on the sidelines, which might be down to a bit of complacency there shown by his side, who almost got themselves in a very promising position from their high press once again. Neither side able to register a shot on target so far in the second half. You look at Freiburg's away form, the victory against Union Berlin, their only win in the last 7, dating back to March. 3 draws, 3 losses in the other 6 games. For Hoffenheim, their home form has been patchy. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss in the current campaign, though that loss to Leverkusen last time out did end a run of 6 unbeaten that included 5 wins and a draw. So the chance to bounce back at the first time of asking 2 winning ways will not have been lost on Theodoros Dedes and his charges. But again, there's a distinct lack of urgency in their ranks, which is fair enough when you're 1-0 up. But they don't want to risk trying to manage this game to a 1-0 win when Freiburg do have the firepower, talents, and hunger to find an equalizer in the next half an hour and change. Silag closing down Laura Dick. This is something that Freiburg do have to do, maybe. They have to take the advanced press approach. Dick, that's not the best outlet pass. As we approach the hour mark, it is worth now perhaps underlining that we need to see more from Freiburg. If they want to get anything from this derby, they cannot be happy to settle with the performance they produced so far. They cannot be satisfied with the lack of goal-scoring chances they're carving out, and they cannot be satisfied with some of the defending at the back. And now Janssens with a chance to double the advantage for Hoffenheim. Just over. Almost a gift given by the visitors. Janssens, the half-time substitute, can't keep the shot on target, so we're still waiting for the first in that regard since the restart. Now Janssens again. Jill Janssens! Good save by Benkart. Janssens went for placement, needed a bit more power. Just like that, a flurry of chances, and that is our first shot on target of the second half. Dealt with by Benkart, the experienced goalkeeper, back on the Freiburg books after some time away with bigger clubs, with bigger ambitions and bigger demands. She left the club back in 2018 after 10 years on the books as a youth player, then turned first-team regular. Joined Bayern, before then moving on to join Champions League record side holders Lyon. Only ever made 11 appearances for the French side, but a valuable time. Silak there. Muscled off the ball at the last by Duma. Fair shoulder-to-shoulder challenge there. Waved away by the referee. Just saw confirmation of the yellow card dished out to our goal scorer tonight, and Porter. That was the foul that earned it. Don't think you should have any complaints about that particular decision. We said that we want to see more from Freiburg. I'd also make the argument we want to see more from Hoffenheim. If this is a team that really want to be top 3 challengers and not just pretenders in that regard, then they can't be happy to settle for a mediocre performance and a 1-0 win. They need to up their levels. And they need to add to the scoreline. That's a lovely little touch. Nice idea from Janssens, but it doesn't find its mark. Carl, the captain, drives forward. And then should have got the ball back. Instead, she left it for Silak, who was in an offside position. If I go back to the games between these two sides last season, they really did have the derby feel about them. I will be honest, not the case tonight. Not helped by the early opener, the record-breaking goal from Amporta, no doubt. And while there's a competitive element about it, there is a distinct feeling here that neither side are hitting the peak of their potential. Neither side close to producing their best performance of the season so far. But derbies do write their own rules. Corner for Freiburg. Headed clear by Duma, edge of the area. Chance kept alive by Nachtigall and Karl. It comes back to Ojukwu. Another chance to cross. Plenty of white shirts in the middle to aim for, and there's one of them. They've got the equaliser. We're all square in the Baden derby. Nicole Ojukwu. Right place, right time at the front post. Excuse me, it's Luca Bierkoltz. It's Ojukwu with the cross. It's Bierkoltz with the finish. A fine one as well, her fourth of the season in the Frauen Bundesliga since joining Freiburg from Jena. And now with the goal back and the scores level, Freiburg makes substitutions from a different position, not one of inferiority, but one on even footing. And Hoffenheim, having really not kept themselves in a high gear after taking the early lead, now might live to regret the fact that they have been a little bit more poised and patient than they maybe needed to be. The flag up again. It's actually a triple change for Freiburg. It's Bierkoltz, that was her final touch of a ball tonight in the Baden derby. Fourth goal of the season. She's replaced by Leila Egli. And this might be a factor in the game tonight, is that Freiburg on their bench have plenty more top-tier proven options at their disposal, is probably the best way to put it. Hoffenheim have a lot of teenage talents. Young players that haven't made their first appearances for the club, waiting in the wings. Janssens, who was brought on at half-time, is the only regular first-team member, and here she is. Gilles Janssens with a chance to restore the Hoffenheim lead! Oh, Benkart, what a stop! Stuck out a foot in the one-on-one situation. And that's now a hat-trick of chances in this second half for Gilles Janssens. One of them had to count. That was the best of the lot. She was looking for the bottom corner, but Benkart was having none of it. Using her wealth of experience just to read the intention of her younger counterpart. And now the missed chances are starting to rack up against Hoffenheim. Big appeals. And a penalty given to Hoffenheim. Angelika Zerder was keeping a close eye on the melee. And I believe it's Aurelie Seelag here who's been penalised for a push on Franziska Harsch. Two hands in the back. It might feel a little bit harsh. But now Marie Steiner, minutes after Freiburg had worked their way back to parity. Marie Steiner to give Hoffenheim the lead back! Benkart guessed right but couldn't get there. Hoffenheim are back in front in the Baden derby. And after a second half where chances had been limited, 2 goals in quick succession at either end of the pitch. Marie Steiner getting her first goal of the season. A composed finish. Didn't have a lot of pace on it, but it had the placement to beat Benkart.
Mit der Nummer 19 Marie. Neuer Spielstand, TSG Hoffenheim SC Freiburg.
The Baden derby has come to life. Change for Hoffenheim as Milena Röder comes off the bench. Regular for the Germany under-19s, Röder. But this is her senior debut for Hoffenheim. Got to feel good coming on when your side are a goal to the good.
In dieser 71. Minute bei unserer TSG Hoffenheim. Wir bedanken uns bei der Nummer 26, Jana Grimm. Dankeschön. Dafür neu in der Mannschaft. Mit der Nummer 28, Milena Röder.
Röder, who has over 50 appearances for Hoffenheim's reserve side. Egli, lovely cross, and Laura Dick had to get there. Silag was waiting, ready to pounce. 10th goal of the season conceded for Hoffenheim, so they become the penultimate side to break the double-digit mark in that regard. The question is, how long will it take before Bayern concede goals that are in the double digits? Bayern in action tomorrow night. As we raise the curtain after closing the curtain on Matchday 9, we raise the curtain Matchday 10 at the Bayern campus, Union Berlin, the visitors against the league leaders. The games continue to come thick and fast in the Frauen Bundesliga. This is day 7 straight, posting top-flight action from the world of women's football in Germany. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday still to come. Egli. You can see that Freiburg are starting to take a few more risks. Oh no, that's a clean challenge. Ah, that's a very generous decision from Angelika Zerda to penalise Egli when I think Diem had her pocket picked. Then again, there's a reason I'm not a referee. Probably because I'd be a little too generous with the whistle myself. Header straight to a Hoffenheim player in the form of Röder. Finds Janssens, whose cross doesn't find a teammate, but Hoffenheim still on the front foot here. Just over quarter of an hour remaining at the Dietmar Hopp Stadion. They've restored their narrow lead. Daylight would do them wonders. Janssens can't get her head on the ball on that occasion. Freiburg a side that aren't strangers to a late goal. And Silag has the run of the game, but not the beating of Laura Dick. Oh my goodness. One more touch around the keeper and the goal's at her mercy. She rushed the effort though, Silag. Where is the composure when Freiburg need it? Janssens, a half-time substitute for Hoffenheim, has had a hat-trick of chances. Silag, though, how she hasn't got on the score sheet is beyond me. 2 golden opportunities in the first half, and that arguably the best of the match, because, again, all it would have taken was one more touch. Corner comes in, it's dangerous. Silag is there, it almost off the hip into the goal. How is that the closest she's come to scoring? Explain that one. An effort she knew nothing about. All happenstance. It did bounce off the hip. It was goal-bound, and it's cleared off the line by Franziska Harsch, who fortunately for Hoffenheim was in the right place. Of course, we had some late goals last night as well. Leverkusen with a late winner against Hamburg. Frankfurt with a late equalizer, courtesy of Nicole Anyomi. That goal scored against Köln. And now a battle of 2 of the other teams that are in the mix for the top 3 finish this season, which does feel more open and up for grabs than it has in recent campaigns, when the trio of Bayern, Wolfsburg and Frankfurt have dominated. The duopoly unbroken, but Frankfurt have been the firm third-place side in the last 4 seasons. But maybe there's going to be a change at the top. All of the sides in the mix have the potential and the pieces in place. Egli clipped round the corner, looking for the run of Lisa Kolb. Now the alarm bells aren't quite ringing just yet, but a look and a revisit of the statistics, and it's worth pointing out the distinct change in that tackles won department, where earlier when we checked in it was 60% in favour of Freiburg. Something tells me Theodoros Dedis might have had words with his team about a tweak in that particular department at half-time. Freiburg and Edmond Kaplani now dipping into their options on the bench. Ciudadot here makes way as Mia-Lena Maas comes on, the 17-year-old. Egli, Leila Egli, straight at her namesake Laura Dick. Again, a little bit more quality from Freiburg in front of goal, and they'd have scored not 1, not 2, but perhaps 3 or 4 tonight. But there has been a distinct lack of quality in that regard, and the guiltiest of parties being already Silag, but she's certainly not alone. Tessa Blumenberg on in what is an attacking roll of the dice from Kaplani. Inside was the call, but the ball goes outside to Lisa Karl. Does well to keep it in play. Franziska Harsch wins the ball well. To Ann Porter, who's got her Belgian compatriot Janssens on the overlap, and Ojukwu tried to just marshal her out of play, almost got herself into trouble as a result. Gave Janssens the chance to turn the corner. In the end, it's Janssens that's come off second best here. And again, the last thing Hoffenheim need is more injuries. They got plenty of those already. Janssens calling for calm as well. That's exactly what Hoffenheim need, but they can't be too calm. There is tension in the air in this derby. Silag driving to the byline. Silag! Oh! Where is the composure from Aurélie Silag? Because again, she's just snatched at this effort. I think she might have been offside anyway. But why snatch at it? Sort your body out, get it in the right position, put your foot on the ball with purpose. If Freiburg do not get a share of the spoils tonight, Silag's profligacy will be a main component of it. Egli made life difficult for Ojukwu, who did really well to establish herself there in midfield, and still Nicole Ojukwu, the young Austrian. A bit scrappy in midfield. It's the hosts that come away with it. Loose pass, easily dealt with. But now the question is, can Freiburg turn it into anything? Important touch on the ball, just takes the sting out of the situation. The jeopardy is there. The tension is there. Freiburg right now being invited forward by Hoffenheim, who are ready to pounce on the counter-attack if afforded the opportunity. But right now, Freiburg looking the likelier to fashion the chance for the next goal. And here it is, Silag, with her most difficult opportunity of the evening so far. Tried to dip the head to turn it on target, but can't. Glauning. Spreading the play to the far side. Down the line it goes for Delicau, who has been a willing runner all evening, but has had such little service to work with. Now it's all of her own making, Feli Delicau. Janssens out wide. Two in the middle to aim for, but no rushing of the cross from Gilles Janssens. And Lisa Karl stands her ground, conceding the corner. And of course, absolutely no rush whatsoever for the corner to be taken. Gives time for another substitution to be made. Nadine Bitzer, the latest debutant off the bench for the home team tonight, 19 years old. A corner that had to be defended at the near post. We've already seen one scored directly from a corner this midweek. Antonia Halverkamps for Union Berlin opening the scoring in what proved to be a 4-1 loss to Wolfsburg in the end. But the Olympico was to be savoured. Benkart thought about coming and decided to stay on her line, let her defenders do the job instead. Janssens first to the loose ball for Hoffenheim. Look at the upcoming fixtures. A trip to the Cathedral City next up for Hoffenheim, and then there's the DFB Pokal round of 16 tie here at the Dietmar Hopp Stadion against Eintracht Frankfurt. Before that meeting here on home soil with Bayern. Freiburg also in DFB Pokal action. They're taking on Wolfsburg on foreign soil. So twice they will face the She-Wolves in quick succession when they have a meeting with them on Matchday 12 as well, also in the Outerstadt. So some very tough fixtures for Freiburg to come. And they'd have liked to go in it with a positive result here. Instead, it might be 3 straight losses. A momentum killer. Oh, and danger! Not dealt with! And, oh, Janssens is penalised in the end for a foul on a Ojukwu. I think that's probably just about fair in the end. But Freiburg were playing with fire there. Ojukwu just waiting for Benkart to come. You know what? I don't think that's a foul. The ball might have gone out of play for a goal kick, but I don't think it was a foul. I think Janssens has every right to try and win the ball there. Into the dying embers of this game. Hoffenheim have already put in the hard work to find one equalizer. They are running out of time to find a second. Parity did not last long here at the Dietmar Hopp Stadion. It didn't last long at the beginning of the game. It was only 8 seconds that we were deadlocked at 0-0. Just a few minutes at 1-1. Lila Egli scampers to keep it in play and does. Tight spaces, but almost found a way through. Freiburg are going to throw everything at Hoffenheim. Looking for an equalizer. Karl loses out though. Bitzer can't produce the pass. And that's a terrible ball forward from Freiburg. A little bit panicky, a little bit desperate, but Silag now will battle. Oh, she goes down holding a hip. It was a hefty collision, but no foul in it. Hoffenheim will take seconds off the clock wherever they can. Nice run from Stegemann. Oh, it's going to come to Silag here. Aurelie Silag. Oh, she looked to thread the needle. Still holding that hip. Clearly didn't favor a shot herself. But here come Freiburg. Looking for the last salvo, the late goal. We've had the fastest goal in Frauen Bundesliga history tonight. Will we get a late one as well? Oh, Laura Benkart is up from the back, the goalkeeper. Well, that really would be something. What a way to end the derby. It's Ojukwu. Floated in. Karl is there unmarked. But it wasn't a clean header. Oh, what a chance for Freiburg. Early in injury time, Lisa Karl, look how unmarked she is. Unbelievable defending there from Hoffenheim. But Karl can't get the header on target, and now Janssens is stopped by the offside flag at the other end. Changes, substitutions, please. The desperate calls on the sidelines. Let us make the changes. Let us take time off the clock. The derby spoils at stake, local bragging rights at stake, and 3 important points in the race for Europe are all at stake.
Unser Applaus für die Spieler mit der Nummer 19, unsere Torschützin beim Foul-Elfmeter zum wichtigen 2:1. Wir sagen Danke bei Marie Steiner.
Marie Steiner with some tired legs there. She has put in some really hard yards, and Christina Alp is our latest debutante. This, the winning goal from Steiner from the spot. Alp, 21 years old. 4 goals in 9 games in the Regionalliga Süd, the 3rd tier of women's football. Now her Hoffenheim debut. The foot race is on. It is Alp, the fresh legs, but can't quite get there. They don't need another goal, Hoffenheim, now. They just need to defend the lead. Seconds remain. Karl wins out well, the captain. Picked up as well now by Schneider. Ojukwu, through ball. One last corner for Freiburg in the Baden derby. Are we going to get high drama at the last? This will be one of the last kicks of the game from this corner. Selina Volbian. Can she pick out a teammate? Lara Ding, hey, come on. Well, Edmond Kaplani has said one thing too many on the sidelines. Looks a little perplexed. Meanwhile, Theodoros Dedis keeps talking about the fact that we're well beyond the 3 minutes added on. But here's the corner from Volbian. Is there anyone there for Freiburg? It's loose in the 6-yard box, but pounced on by Lauridic. The derby spoils in Baden-Württemberg go the way of Hoffenheim in what was a hard-fought encounter until the very last between local rivals. The fastest goal in Frauen Bundesliga history, scored by Valeska Amporter, got the ball rolling. Luca Birkholz leveled the scores for Freiburg, but minutes later, a penalty converted by Marie Steiner set Hoffenheim on course for victory. And they were never knocked off their path, despite some late pressure, as they move within 3 points of 3rd place Leverkusen with a 2-1 win at the Dietmar Hopp Stadion. Well, it was quite fair-natured to start, but in the end we had the jeopardy, we had the drama, we had the determination of a derby from both teams. Freiburg pushed and pushed and pushed for another late equalizer, but they couldn't find a second goal as Hoffenheim held on to all 3 points. Laura Dick and Laura Benkart, the two goalkeepers, both had big moments in this game. Theodoros Dedis, delighted to see his side return to winning ways after that loss to Wolfsburg, which he was incredibly proud of, despite the result. But they responded the first time of asking, Hoffenheim. Despite all the injuries, despite all the setbacks, despite the adversity, they have risen to the challenge and taken all 3 points in the first Baden derby of the season. They avenged the 3-2 loss here on home soil from the previous campaign. And while local bragging rights are good, the 3 points that keep them in the hunt for a top 3 finish are even better. For Edmond Kaplani and co, that's now 3 straight losses. Their incredible start to the campaign is now a distant memory as they continue to drop down the pecking order. 7th place is where they will end the midweek fixtures. Freiburg, a big game against Leverkusen on home soil next time, could get them back into the mix and maybe even do Hoffenheim a favour. Because right now, we've got a handful of teams in the race for a top 3 finish. These were 2 of them. There wasn't a lot to separate them. In the end, it's Hoffenheim who emerged victorious with a 2-1 win, including a record-breaking goal that got the action underway. James Thorogood, match commentator, thanks for joining. Of course, the action in Frauen Bundesliga continues. 4 more days of fixtures to go before a respite. For now, good night.
Unseren Gästen aus Freiburg wünschen wir viel Erfolg am nächsten Montag, 10. November, Heimspiel. Wieder ein Montagabendspiel, dann geht's gegen Bayer 04 Leverkusen. Unsere Mannschaft am Sonntag, 9. November, 16 Uhr beim 1. FC Köln.
Kontakt!